Good afternoon. Today we're going to be talking about hunger. What is the definition of hunger? As the dictionary's website, dictionary.com, they define hunger as a compelling need or desire for food, or the painful sensation or state of weakness caused by the need of food to collapse from hunger. But why this happens? What are the factors that contribute to this to happen? Poverty is the main cause of hunger. People who are considered poor don't have an income to be able to purchase food. As the Hunger Notes organization, they list conflict and drought being responsible for the cause of hunger. A country's economic is also considered a factor. If a country is known as a lower developed country economically, LDEs, there's a bigger chance of more people suffering from starvation than people living in a country considered more developed country economically, MDE. Countries that are poor but are able to export food to be able to gain money sometimes are affected by the weather, which is another factor which may cause hunger. If someone in Africa, for example, works in the crops, and if there's a bad weather, how will they be able to export food and gain money to be able to buy food for their family? Thinking about eradicating hunger in the world seems to be completely utopic. This subject exists since the beginning of human civilization, and society has always thought about it, trying to solve such an economic problem. Some 850 million people go to bed hungry every single night. Many of them are children, from whom early hunger leaves a lifelong legacy of cognitive and physical impairment. The human and economic waste is horrifying. Such hunger is not due to a shortage of food. Globally, there is enough to go around the world, and if big quantity. Now, but some estimates stopping the waste of food after harvest due to poor storage or transport infrastructure, and then in our own kitchens could free up half of all food grown. Many professionals dedicated and still dedicate all efforts in order to make hunger less powerful and to make it suffering less. The ideal outcome is to have every single person with the possibility of having food every single day is difficult. This is a dream, but it's possibly one day to come true. One day, when this goal is achieved, we are all going to ask ourselves the reason why it took so long. The first indicator that occurred is education. It has been proved that educated populations have higher incomes and better choices to make and to have a healthier life. It starts with the formal academic education in schools, providing kids with proper nutrition. Later, universities provide these kids with more intellectual knowledge, leading them to correct attitude towards various choices people do on every day in life. An educated person should be aware of this part of this war. Another indicator of success is finishing hunger can be through government policies. Different organizations working from the same goal and vision. Many examples can be used, such as keeping population in rural areas, distributing the produce directly in nearby communities, and making the price smaller, having NGO and all the other international organizations working with poor countries and making sure that they're more given them to and properly spent. At a national level, progressive governments in Brazil and in Ghana, for example, is shown how to cut hunger sharply through cash transfers to poor people, raising the minimum wage, and investing in smallholder farmers. Another example is in India, a country that is growing about 8% rate per year, and that they need to be responsible for their hungry masses. through higher taxation and proper social services to end hunger and malnutrition. Hunger is both a cause of symptom of poverty, damaged bodies and brains, or moral scandal, and tragic waste of economic potential. That hunger exists at all shows the urgency of redistributing income to assets to achieve a fair world, providing the additional calories needed by the 13% of world's population facing hunger would require just 1% of current global food supply. That redistribution has not already taken place and is truly something to be ashamed of. For the WFD, the ideal outcome can be achieved through the following steps: nutrition for under twos, food relief in emergencies, and support to small farmers, meals for kids, and food vouchers, and food for training. Each country has to report some official numbers to the international communities about children mortality, people who are illiteracy, life expectancy, and sanitation conditions. These numbers are a parameter for life quality in comparison between the countries and showing the population that life quality has improved. The more number of years a kid stays in school, the better, the higher life expectancy raises, the better, and the last children die and or have any such kind of problems.